What's up?
Hello. Happy what? It's got to be Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
Yes, always Thursday. Always thirsty, always Thursday.
Yes. Well, how are things, man? What's going on?
Well, pretty good. 2 live streams in a row.
I know. This is big.
This is big. We've been talking about it. Should we just tell them, or?
I mean, sure.
Do we agree? Do we agree on that? Is that what we
agree
on?
Yeah. We're gonna try to do the show here at this time now. Reason being because Wednesday through Friday, I'll be here guaranteed. Right? Likely.
Right.
And then let's see.
Monday, so we're just going to schedule it at this time because we thought, well, I complained about it actually. I said setting it up, recording, editing, and posting and everything, a freaking 15-minute video takes longer and more of my time than just going live at 7:00. And if I'm prepared, and we'll know if John's going to be here or not. If John's not here, I'll just run solo, or I'll reach out to Daniel. Maybe I'll have some co-host on those nights.
Jay Coco, we got to get her on sometime.
There you go. We get Jay Coco on. We get, we might just do something like that, or maybe I'll start interviewing people on those nights or something. Who knows? But we're just going to leave it like this, and then hopefully it works out to where, so if John can't make it, I'll just go live. If John can make it, but I can't make it, John will just go live.
Yep.
And speaking of that, you may have to do that here in a couple of weeks because I got to tear down. So on the freaking, let me look at the calendar. So I am moving on the 19th.
Okay.
So on the 14th, actually, I'm going to start moving on the 17th, which is a Saturday. On the 14th, the 14th will be my last night live streaming for a good little bit, probably at least a week.
Okay.
Because I got to tear down everything. I got to tear down this monstrosity I got going on and pack it up, bring it to the new house, set it up, deal with everything I got to deal with getting into the new house, which is actually just a temporary house. and get everything set up in there. So that might work out that Thursday and Friday, the 15th and the 16th. Maybe we get Aaron, and you and Aaron do the stream, or you and Daniel, or just you by yourself, or,
yeah,
we'll figure it out. But we can't leave you guys hanging.
We can't leave you guys hanging. I'm also trying to get Victor, the artist of Omen, on soon. So I was actually trying to get him on today, but I didn't reach out to him today because I was tired. So I was like, maybe
right.
in the evening, blah, blah, blah. But we'll get that worked out. We're big fans of what Omen did with their artwork and just the way that their community and project is going. It's definitely a very strong community. Let me see. So in addition to that, lots of stuff is going on. So we're going to try to get a good new rhythm for you guys. I've got a 4K camera that arrives tomorrow morning. So, there's a good chance that by tomorrow night, we got it all set up. We'll see what happens. You'll get to see how ugly I am in 4K.
What John doesn't realize is he's going to come across what happened with me. So I upgraded the camera to the Sony ZL-ZE110, I don't know, whatever, 4K camera. And remember, but then I kept jumping and glitching and then I had to update what I bought. A new graphics card. I bought more memory. I bought a new CPU. And because of that, I had to buy a bigger power supply. So I basically had to rebuild my computer just to support this damn camera I have up here.
Jeez.
That's why I look so ugly in 4K.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure that I'll have that experience, but hopefully at the end of June, I can get myself a new computer. So that's what my goal is. My goal is to be like, hey, I'm not getting paid for going on this trip. Maybe you just want to give me a nice computer.
There we go.
So that's what I'm going to shoot for. We'll see what happens.
There we go.
But
yeah, get something out of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
time is money, bro.
Time is money. That's 100% true. But all right, guys, we've been going back and forth enough. I got to get to bed because I work at like 5:30 tomorrow morning. So it's 10 o'clock for us on the East Coast. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure that you like, subscribed, you've shared. We tried to bring you the daily news nightly, right? And we're not going to say a time, but right now we're looking at...
Well, no, we might as well just go through the spiel now.
All right, hit it.
Everybody do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell. If you're on X, tag some DGen, share this with a friend. We go live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PST, bringing you the daily news nightly. There we go.
All right. Boom.
What are we doing? Market watch?
Yeah.
It's been so... You caught me slipping, bro.
I know. I'm sorry. I was too quick on it.
It's all right. Let's get the freshest data. Boom. And I'm not even sharing the right screen because of the damn tabs. Okay, there we go. So market cap coming in at 3.12 trillion. Beautiful to see. Yes, let's go. We are up 0.2%, negligible. Low volume being a Thursday, even though it was the first day of May, coming in at 89 billion. We got Bitcoin dominance at 61.6, Ethereum at 712, and less than one GUI to send an ETH transaction. Coming on down, let's see here. We got Bitcoin coming in at 96,835, up 2.2. We did break that resistance level. We will talk about that later. Ethereum at 1841, up 1.7. We have XRP at 222, up 0.4. We have BNB at 601, pretty much flat, 0.1. Solana at 150, up 0.8. Dogecoin at 1812, up 3.7. Cardano making a little move at 70.73, up 2.4. And Tron rounding out the top 10 at 24.35, up 1.6. Even SWI. So SWI's actually looks like it's lower than it was yesterday, coming in at 352, up 0.3, but it hit like 370 again today. SWI has had a lot of volatility going forward. So, and that used to be one of my favorite coins to trade when I was still trading because of that volatility. All right, we got Immutable X. Why in the heck did Immutable X pump 18%? Something had to have come out because Immutable X has just been a stagnant coin. And I don't understand why it pumped. Something had to have happened. Something must have debuted on Immutable. Maybe a new game dropped or something like that.
Yes.
But it did?
Rumble Rush.
There we go. That's why.
And the Treeverse.
So we got Immutable X up 18. We got Sonic up 14.5. We got Quant up 9. Litecoin up 5.5. Injective up 5. Story IP up 3.6. And then just some more single-digit gainers, but still good, decent amount of green, right? Let's see here. Let's go with the biggest losers. ASI is down 5.3, still up 5.7 on the week. We got Pi down 5.1, Bonk down 4.8, Fartcoin down 3.9. I seen a statistic. What was it? If you didn't invested $1,200 in Fartcoin 4 months ago, you'd have $51,000 or something like that right now. But I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, if you put 1,200 into Fart Coin and it tripled and you didn't pull your money out, you have to be mentally challenged to just or really believe in a coin that is named Fart Coin. I don't know. World Coin up 2.4, Monero, down 2.4, Monero down 3.2. Official Trump is down 3.6, and so on. Looking at the stock market real quick. So pre-market, we are up a little more, up 335 points on the Dow. The S&P is up 36 points. The NASDAQ is up 49 points, and oil is up barely. And then the 10-year yield. Let's see, what is this? Apple is getting punished for one thing it did not deliver this quarter. Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? Let's see. How did we end the day? We did end in the green all the way across. That's nice. Asia, the Australian index is up 61 points. The Nikkei's got a nice little pump up 293. Hong Kong is up 187, and Shanghai is actually down 762. With India, nothing changed. So that is the market update in a nutshell. Take it away.
All right. Let's just do it like this. Here we go. Boom. So this just in, China's Ministry of Commerce. Am I showing? Yep. Says that Beijing is evaluating possible trade talks with the U.S. So a lot of this fear and stuff people been worried about, as far as the, me personally, I was ordering like almost $1,000 worth of stuff from Temu, like basically Temu, but not Temu, but from China, and for our store in Honduras. And right now, the prices are way up, right? In anticipation of these tariffs. Yep. So it's like triple, like 3 times what we were going to spend. So that $1,000 is like $3.5 grand is what they're saying that it'll cost to buy all this stuff now and ship it. But this might mean maybe I wait another week or two, and it just all goes back to normal. So we'll see what happens. But this is definitely like some progress. That's been a lot of things that have been stressful for people, business owners and different people that have had to make rely on things from China, right?
Yep.
And then North Carolina passes bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is great. We love that. We've been talking about them. And I want to say shout out to clairebot.sui. Claire, I had a great interview with her about Super B. Definitely check it out. But Super B, she says, intern notes, stands for Super Best Sui Play. Till today, if you want to know more about Sui Play's user experience, visit our account and find out. I know that Super B is kind of like a... I cannot remember the name of the game, but when I try to think about it, but it's kind of like a Mario, like
Smash Brothers,
kind of like a group game, kind of voxel style as well. Highly recommend it. It looks really great. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of like battle royale style games, things that are really engaging for groups of people. They're trying to become a social gaming experience, right?
I know. I seen some videos earlier about because Swee's having that event going on right now, and they had Super B was being played on the Sui Play, so they're like everybody's playing it and everything like that. It's supposed to have real good reviews.
Okay, so the game that I was thinking of is Party Animals. So Party Animals is this game where there's really like all of the games only have 2 buttons you press. Super simple to play, but it's like a battle royale style like party game. So every single one is a little bit different, but you have a couple buttons, whatever it is, simple. But I feel like Super B is kind of like that. Also breaking $7 trillion Charles Schwab, CEO, says we have the green light from regulators to enter crypto. This is big. They have a lot of money. We know that they're already here, but now they're going to tell people about it.
This is massive. That's massive. That because I think he's more talking about like the banks and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we now know that, right, JP Morgan Chase and a lot of these huge companies, all these big banks, they're now going to be able to hold crypto. So I know that they're going to do it. And we got this just in. Ford CEO says President Trump's tariffs are great for the country. Well, that's great. Shout out to Louisville, Kentucky. Spent a lot of time there in my life. And so this was interesting. Cointelegraph is warning people about this fake subpoena scam targeting crypto users. Attackers are impersonating law enforcement and demanding wallet data under the guise of legal action with forged documents. So be careful out there. We've been talking about AI. I wanted to share this because I thought it was exciting. We were talking about my journey making a website. Let's see if it'll play. If it'll play, it'll be awesome. If not, we'll give up on it.
Introducing Canva Code. Now, for the first time ever, anyone can create not just visual, but interactive experiences.
Yep, so no coding necessary. That's what she's going to go on to say. But basically, Canva will now have a plugin where you're going to be able to just interact with AI and prompt everything. And it'll have some presets for you to make your website and different kinds of stuff like that. You'll be able to make interactive experiences, which is something that usually costs quite a bit of money to be able to achieve. So this is pretty big, very exciting for AI. And dude, shout out to Canva, innovating and making our job easier, right? Because we'll be able to do all of the things that we need to do just by prompting with Canva. Fantastic.
That'll work.
But there we go. Shout out to Crypto King. Shout out to everybody who's joined us right now. But that's what I've got for Twitter bookmarks. Just kidding. This breaking news is the Bitcoin L2 stacks, which we talked about before. They're partnering with Sui for a 1-to-1 backed Sui BTC. And that's going to be on Sui very soon. So it's Wrap Bitcoin on Sui, but backed 1-to-1. And yeah, that's great.
You're missing one there.
SBTC.
No, scroll down. There we go.
Breaking 21 shares files for a spot Sui ETF with the SEC. And we love this. Bullish for Sui. We're bullish on Sui. I think the user experience is great. I really hope that Sui is the one that outpaces Solana and Ethereum. That's just me personally. I like Sui, but we'll see what happens. I think that Ethereum is definitely far behind. Anyways, some conspiracy theories there on the bookmarks. Sorry, guys. All right. So that's what we got there. Let's check this out. This has been some massive news that people have been talking about a lot, but Michael Saylor's strategy is saying that not only does it want to buy $1 billion.
Whoa. You got to share the screen, bro.
Oh,
you closed your window.
That would help. So Michael Saylor's strategy, instead of $1 billion, they want to buy $84 billion worth of Bitcoin. So they're crazy. A lot of people have been commenting about their over leverage, this and that. But, they said this before. I think they have money, right? I think they also have massive backers. They probably have a whole lot of companies that instead of wanting to hold it themselves and going through all of the regulatory stuff, they just want strategy to hold it. So, they're experts at this. I just see them as a holding company for all these other big companies. So this is big news because of the number, 84 billion, but not big news because it's Michael Saylor. And this is what he does. He'll buy the top forever.
And I've seen mixed reviews on this. Like Wendy O came out and said he was stupid. You know what I mean? Because I can see where she's coming from, because at this point, how much of the supply, it's like becoming less and less decentralized. You know what I'm saying? If he just keeps buying and buying and buying, that, I don't know. You know, you got to have, you can't just buy and sit on something. It'll never go up in price, because the only reason price goes up is supply and demand.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
I think they probably probably selling OTC though.
I don't know. I mean, I still think it's bullish, but I think it's a little ridiculous that, you know, just keeps buying and buying and buying.
Fair. And then this is really bullish. Kraken finalizes Ninja Trader buy as Q1 revenue jumps 19%. I've seen a lot of these advertisements for Ninja Trader, but obviously if Kraken is in the place where it is accumulating companies, they're looking to grow massively. And this is just bullish. When you see these acquisitions, it means the market is heating up. We talked about this, and we talked yesterday about Ripple eyeing Circle for $4 to 5 billion, which I mean is obviously on the heavier end, but a lot of this is going to be coming out. A lot of these things are going to happen, and this is pretty exciting. And then one of the last ones I want to talk about, because I thought this was hilarious. The SEC charges an app maker with fraud, saying their AI services were Philippines workers. U.S. authorities said the Nate app was not powered by AI, but actually oversees human workers who manually process transactions. So they probably were in there like OpenAI, and we're charging people these $20 to $30 subscriptions for excellent services. And they actually just had a sweatshop of people on computers doing all the stuff that they were telling people was AI. They said that in the article that they actually raised over $40 million from investors.
Wow.
So can you imagine that? You've got a group of like 10 people in a room on Google, and then you're in the boardroom in like California or whatever, and you're like, look at how amazing it is. Why don't you try it? And then you get the smartest guy in the room to ask it a question. And then the 20 guys over there are like, oh, Google. Right? They get the answer. They send it back to you. And then the guy's like, wow, that was amazing. This AI is next level. Right? No. Crazy. But, yeah.
How do you raise $40 million with an app called Nate? The Nate app.
I don't know. But that's what we got there. I thought that was pretty crazy. And, you know, you have to be careful for scammers out there. You definitely have to do due diligence, right?
Yeah. And they're getting more and more sophisticated every day.
Like we saw those subpoenas, court subpoenas, fraudulent documents that are trying to convince you to give your wallet information.
Right.
Nah, bro. You got to be
not going to happen. Contact my lawyer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, not going to happen.
So. All right. So let's check out what's going on in the market. And if we wrap this up a little early, I'm going to go to sleep a little early.
All right. All right, let's do it. Go ahead and roll that footage.
Oh, good point. Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.
All right. All right. So looking at Bitcoin, we did get a pump today. we did get a nice pump today. It did break the SR level at 96.5 that we were talking about. You got the 21 getting ready to cross the 200, but we got to print, we got to print multiple candles above this level for me to be bullish still, because we are still extremely overbought on the Stokes. What's up, hybrid family? So we are still extremely overbought on the Stokes. We are still gapping the 21. The RSI is still high. So I'm still of the opinion that we are going down. We're going back down. So nothing I see changes that. I think the pump today was just because it was the first day of the month. I didn't see anything in the news, and nothing in the charts were saying it should have pumped. And now we got the 4 hour. Even the 4 hour is now overbought again. And let's see here, bring this down. So, but we did break the SR level I'm always talking about. So can we hold? That's going to be the big thing. Like I said, I still think we're coming back down. We have there's a lot of volume right in this area. So if we can really break through this, then I'll change my tune and say, hey, maybe we're going to 102 and we're going to keep going before we have our fall. But it is coming. It is definitely coming. You cannot ride the stochastics that high for so long. All right. And if you look at that, another reason I'm talking about that is because you can see even back here, look. So even back here on these peaks, as we're going up, we still had the stochastics reset. This goes all the way back to November. We have never been this overbought in the past 6-7 months. You have to go way back here until like September. And even then it was up, down, up, down, up, down. It wasn't kind of just like riding up here. So we're definitely expecting a pullback. Let's take a look at SWE. I need to get rid of some of these levels on SWE, huh? SWE, I feel, is the same thing. It has been massive volatility. Look at these wicks. Boom, up to 378. Back down. Boom, boom, boom. And it is just going like crazy. So we need to hold 348, and so far we have been holding it. I do expect we've been talking about this, I still expect us to come back down. We are really far away from the 21, further than Bitcoin is even. Like it's a 25% difference between the 21 and the price action. So we're definitely going to come back down. I would imagine if we lose this SR level, I would definitely be shorting. I wouldn't be longing or shorting in this area, and if we break 378, I would expect us to go to 417. If you want to come down on the lower time frames and look at this. So this is in between 348 and 78. And this is on the 12 minute. And you can see we just been boom, 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 So if you were to play this range, you're going to long the bottom with the stop loss right below it. And you're going to short the top with the stop loss right above it. And just play in that range right there. The RSI is very low, though, on the 12 minute. So we might get a little pump overnight on SWE. We are very low. We were in the oversold area right down in here earlier today. And then now we've started to pump back up. Stokes are a little high. They haven't crossed to come back down yet, though. So there might be still some room to run, but we have lost the 200. So if we can regain the 200, let's go down to the 1 minute. Yeah, this is where I'd be watching. I'd be waiting for the 1 minute to cross the 200 if I'm going to scalp. And then once it crossed, then I would open my long. But it looks like even the 1 minute's going to come back down a little bit. Stokes I'd wait for those to reset, see if we can get across, then long, then go up to your larger time frames and see what's going on. Let's look at Cardano, the daily. So Cardano still hitting its head at 71 or 72 cents. Can't seem to get above it. We've been kind of bumping our head on it all day today. We go down to the 15-minute. You can see we've just been kind of trending up towards it right there. And we need to break that in order to maintain to the next level, which is going to be like 74. Let's get on daily. But we are still well below the 200. So Cardano, same story, except for with it, until we get back above like 77, which would be the daily crossing the 200, I'm still bearish on Cardano. I think it's a great time to be picking up some Cardano. Daniel asked last night, what would you put 2K into? Well, I wouldn't put 2K into Cardano, but I skipped right past it for some reason last night. Cardano is one of the ones that I would be picking up right now, just because everything is so bearish that this is when you buy. You buy when it's bearish, you sell when it's bullish. That's just how it works, right? Coming down, I've seen J-Chains put out a little thing yesterday, and it kind of makes sense what he was saying. He was looking at this pattern right here. Okay, so this is the daily. I think Ondo right now could be a good buy in the midterm, because we're on the daily. Stokes have reset. The RSI is still above the 50. It hasn't broken the median line, but everything is getting reset, right? We're bouncing off the 21. And if you follow this, the move we just had, we pumped, we dipped, we consolidated, right? Now we get a pump, we dip. Do we just consolidate and then boom, we take that next pump? That is quite possible. And we are below the 200. So it is definitely still a good place to buy. I don't know about opening any leverage trades on it or anything like that. And even on the daily, you can see we're kind of getting that rounded bottom, right? So as long as this stays true and the Stokes are reset and they turn and we start to get a little pump, you're going to see that rounded bottom start to pay off, and rounded bottoms pay the bills. That's just how it works. So just like rounded tops, expect a dump, right? Well, rounded bottoms, expect it to pump. Let's go down to XRP. So XRP is kind of in the middle of all of those. The Stokes aren't oversold.
I kind of feel like they're actually going to buy Circle, or there's going to be an acquisition or a merger. And I feel like that'll be when the pump happens. I mean, that could be a long time from now, but I think it's going to happen during this cycle. Because if they already have had conversations and got an offer rejected, that means that they seriously were looking at the numbers and they were actually both in the room talking about something serious going on there. You can't get to that level of a conversation without like,
no,
NDAs and you know what I mean?
Right. They're not just shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
They're not just, probing and shooting from the hip. No, they definitely went in with due diligence and everything like that. So looking at, like I said, XRP, we're not overbought or oversold on the Stokes. We're kind of like right in the middle. The RSI has come down, bounced off the 50, back above the median line, but we're kind of sitting right here. We can't get above this SR level at 223. You can see when we finally lost it, this is kind of when everything was dumping. Boom. And this is that channel. We drew this channel, I don't know, at least 2 weeks ago, we drew this channel, right? And it's been following it this whole time until last week, we finally broke out of it. But we're bumping our head on this 223. You know, we wicked to it there. We wicked. We broke it. Now we fell back below it, and the 50 has held us as support. So if we can break through that, I definitely see 234 in the cards, or maybe even all the way up to this high volume node on the daily. If we bring this in, you got this high volume node right here at about 239. So I could definitely see us getting back up to that level as long as Bitcoin either goes sideways or stays bullish. Bitcoin dumps, the market's dumping. Game over. I mean, you guys have been here long enough. You know that. You know, when Bitcoin starts dumping, altcoins dump harder. That's just the name of the game. Smaller market cap, more volatility, right? There's really nothing else I wanted to look at, unless there's anybody in the chat, they want something specific. They want me to look at something specific. I didn't expect John to be done that quick, actually. Usually takes a lot longer. So I only got about 15, 20 minutes. This time I had like 35 minutes.
What about FET? Let's check out FET because we got
FET?
Crypto King in the crowd there.
Let's take a look at FET. So on FET, you know, well, first thing about FET is we are about, let me see where we at right here. Let me get rid of that. We're about 350% away from the 2024 all-time high. So, but the problem is we are still below the 200, even though we've pumped. This is kind of deceiving because look, it doesn't look like much, right? But we measured this yesterday. That's like a 70% pump or something like that. No, that's a 107% pump. You know, just this little bit right here is 107% pump. But we do see the Stokes coming down. So I would expect them to reset here soon. And your RSI was overbought and has dropped. It bounced off the median. It went up and now it broke back through. So I expect this to start rounding out though, because that pump, the RSI was just so vicious with all this being in the bear territory for so long. You know, all the way back to December is where we initially lost it forever, it seems like, right? So, but I definitely like FET. I would be picking up some FET if you're looking to invest right now. And you can see we're at a pretty significant SR level. Look at all this action right here. So 77 cents has kind of been the level right here. You know, we bounced our head off it last Saturday. We fell back down. We pumped. Make that a little bigger so people can see. So last Saturday, we come into it. Boom. We break above. We lose it. We pump. We get a giant shooting star today that shoots us above it. Ends up a red candle, but now we're going green again, right? So I would definitely be watching 77 cents. If you're looking to long FET, I wouldn't long it until I seen a break, until I see it break this 77 cents. Let's scroll in. Let me see if I can get you another level. Wow. Honestly, if we can break 77 cents, I think we're going to blow right through $1, probably up to about here, to about $1.09. And then we have this high volume node right here at about $1.30. Whoops, that's not the button. So that could break quick because look, there's not much. See this big valley? That means no volume, right? No volume there until you hit this little hump right here, this little bump, like a, you know, like an outcropping in the cliff, you know, a little handhold right there, right? Because there is not much. We just kind of look, we lost it first back here, February of 24. We shot right through it. And then we had some action right here at 109, and then it kept going. And then on the way back down, look, touch at 109, touch at 109, finally broke through it, and we came all the way down and played around in the 70 and 80 cent. Then we broke back through it, came back down, retested, and then lost it. So I think this is a big level, this 109, more like a range. Let's see here. I would put this more in like a range, probably like 109 to 113, because we got a lot of wicks right there at 113 also. So I would say probably like that, because we got a lot of action right here, you know, there's a big zone for a lot of these touch points, and that's at about 115. So we'll call it 116. So between 109 and 116 is a big level. And if we can break that, definitely 130. And then that, and if that doesn't happen until somewhere out here, then we're going to have that competing with the downtrend. And then when we break that downtrend, be off to the races. Boom, break that downtrend. We got there's not a lot of volume above that. You know, this was quick, boom, quick, down. So that's what I'm looking at on FET. Definitely bullish on FET. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Well, I think that'll do it for tonight. What do you think?
I'm excited to test out this camera tomorrow. Watch me start freezing all over the place. That's going to suck.
I think it'll be all right. I don't know your internet, though. I can't believe, like, when you tried to play that video and it happened last night, it was just kind of like getting the wheel of death, the buffer wheel of death. I don't remember that happening in Honduras. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. True. Maybe, you know, maybe we got to update our country's infrastructure.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, everybody take it easy. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. It'll be the same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time, unless some crazy happens. But that's all we got. We are Crypto Nightly. We bring you the daily news nightly.
All right. Have a great night.
Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code Crypto Nightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.